All right, so here we have a 2007 Jeep Wrangler. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing rotors and pads, front and rear, for the rust condition that we have here. So we'll go ahead and start breaking it down. I got a 9/16 socket. I'm going to go ahead and loosen up our caliper. We'll go ahead and set our caliper up here so it doesn't fall. Okay, so you can see the rust has definitely played a part with the slides here. The pad for the rear is still, pretty new for the size. Well, the outer pad is just pretty much almost all the way down to the metal there. So what's happening is it's not sliding, so we're going to have to address our slides, but they're most likely going to be in the rust right here, not in the actual caliper slide. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take our caliper off. I have a 13/16 socket. We have two bolts in the back here. We'll go ahead and loosen those up. All right, so you can see on this one here, this pad is pretty new and this pad is just completely wiped out. So when this happens, there's two different reasons. One would be the caliper slide, so these ones look good here. The next would actually be the pad not sliding in these little tabs. The tabs do come with new pads, but they get rusty and then they can't move. So the caliper is just squeezing and just holding on one side, not releasing evenly. So we'll go ahead and get our rotor off and get these out and get it cleaned up for the new pads. All right, so here we have our new front rotor and pads that we got from Auto Parts Direct to You. Here's our new clips that hold it in. So we'll go ahead and break this down and get it cleaned up so we can put our new ones in there. Wow, you can see that one's really stuck in there. Wow. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our clips out. We'll put the new ones in. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to get all that rust out of there. So we'll go ahead and clean that off now. All right, so I'm going to use just a simple bench grinder with a wire brush on it. And we'll go ahead and just clean out the grooves inside. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our new ones on. All right, what we're going to do is we want to match up our squealer, our indicator, make sure that we have the right pad for each side. All right, so our outer will be the one without the squealer. All right, so we're all set up there. Just go ahead and make sure that all our other spots. All right. Our new rotor, we'll go ahead and get some brake clean. We want to spray our rotor down because they come with, it's kind of like a soap, but it's an anti-corrosion for shipping and, you know, well, it's the shelf life there. So we want to get that off so it doesn't get in our pads. Because then that'll give us, you know, a little bit of noise. We just want to make sure that we have a good surface. We don't have any kind of big rust or dirt or anything like that, because we want to need our rotor to sit flush. All right. All right, so now we need to push our caliper back. I'm going to go ahead and use the old pads. And I have a little tool here to help push it back. Go ahead and put our mounting bolts back on. All right, so that's how we do the front. Now we'll go ahead and we'll do the rear. All right, so now we want to remove our rear caliper. So we have a 1/2-inch socket to go on here. And then we have our 15 millimeter for the inner part of that slide. All right, so here we have a 18 millimeter socket or a wrench. We'll go ahead and loosen our caliper bolts. All right, so we can kind of see on the rear caliper exactly the same thing. We had one pad that was sticking, so it wore it out. Yep, look at that, it's just locked up in there. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our clips out. All right, so we'll go ahead and clean these up in the wire wheel. All right, so we'll go ahead and install our new hardware. Here we have our rotor. We'll go ahead and get it cleaned up with brake clean. Go ahead and clean up our emergency brake. Mount our caliper back up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and push our caliper back. So we'll go ahead and put the tires on. The one thing we got to remember is before we start the vehicle up, we want to go ahead and pump the brake pedal so we can move some of that fluid to get to the brake pads actually making contact, and then we can go for a test drive.